You have to be kidding me. Oh, you guys, the life of a vlogger. Oh, now it's crooked. I just got it set up right too. What the heck? Maybe that'll work. Ooh, maybe I need to sit. Kind of feel like I need to sit on a pillow or something. Hey guys, welcome to my latest video. You guys have been asking me the funniest questions. Not really all funny, some funny, some like just curious about my blogging and my life, and I figured I would make a quick Q&A video on some of my favorite questions that I had gotten. These questions came from everywhere. They came from Instagram, they came from YouTube comments, they came from DMs, they came from Twitter, some of them Facebook Messenger. So these are from everywhere, from all sorts of different people all across the spectrum. Some of these things you may wanted to have known about me, some of these things probably not, but here we are answering these questions in a Q&A. I think that this is kind of fun and I want to keep doing these, so I'm always writing down some of the good questions that you guys ask me and just kind of thinking about them, because sometimes they're questions that I wouldn't necessarily ask myself, and then it makes me think about it. It's like, oh, well, why do I do that, or why don't I do that? So questions are inspiring, which is good. But enough talking, let's get to the questions. I have them here on my trusty iPhone, so I'm going to be reading them off and answering them, just kind of walking through them. So the very first question is, how did you start your blog? And I started Hangry Woman actually years and years and years ago. It wasn't even called Hangry Woman at the time. I went through so many different blog titles. I went through so many different themes and so many different types of things that I wanted to do, and it wasn't until I was diagnosed with diabetes that I decided to start and call my blog Hangry Woman, and just write about what I go through as a diabetic, between the judgment and the comments and the ignorance and all of the things that you never really hear about when you're not dealing with this illness. And so it was a way for me to kind of like vent and to be able to talk about being a diabetic in real terms, not medical terms, not the way that the doctor would talk to you. And I wanted other people to see that it's not like this death sentence, and a lot of the things that are stigmatized within diabetes are things that if you take care of yourself, and if you're very closely watching your blood sugar, if you're making sure that you're active, if you are just kind of being like an overall good steward of your body, those are the things that you should be conscious of, but you don't have to like necessarily worry about every single day. So I started it as a way to just kind of get my thoughts down on paper and to talk about things as I learned them and hear from other people. And it's been an interesting experience for me. There's two sides of the coin. There's the side where people are like, wow, I really understand this, I get it, I am happy that you're talking about it. And then there's the other side of people that are like so judgmental about everything. I don't know everything now, and so Hangry Woman's kind of a way for me to really talk through those things, and on the flip side show that it's okay if you have a little bit of ice cream sometime. It's okay if you put heavy cream in your Starbucks, which is a funny joke from something that happened the other day if you follow my Instagram stories. It's okay to live your life, and you should most of the time be trying to do good things for yourself, but it's okay to enjoy. It really is. Okay, so what products or tools do you use for your vlogging? So I use just a couple things for my vlogging. I use a Samsung NX3000 camera, which is just absolutely my favorite tool. It's a little pocket camera. It's like a mirrorless digital camera, so you can use it for photography and for videography. It has a great microphone. I don't need any external tools to use it. I literally just set it up on my tripod. It has like a selfie mode so I can see myself in the little viewfinder. It's cute and compact. has a beauty mode where it like airbrushes my face and makes me look all like fabulous and lovely. So it's just a great camera. I also use a GoPro for car vlogging because I get really upset and quite annoyed actually when I see bloggers who have large followings and they are vlogging and it's very clear that they're holding their camera in their hand or holding their phone in their hand, and it just makes me upset because it's dangerous for other people. Not only is it dangerous for them, it's dangerous for others who are traveling along with them. So I use a GoPro, I mount it on my windshield and I set it and forget it. The audio is not great with it, but it's better than trying to hand hold a tripod while I'm operating my motor vehicle. I don't like that at all. I also use Final Cut Pro to edit my vlogs, edit my videos. I went to school for broadcast journalism, so it's something I know from learning in my classes, and I love Final Cut. It's a wonderful tool if you know how to use it, but there are tons of other tools that are great for beginners. And then for, what else? That's really it for my vlog. For my blog, I blog using WordPress's platform, and that's really it. Like, I try not to spend a ton of money on this because it's truly a hobby. It's something that I do for enjoyment. It's something that is fun for me. You know, eventually I might invest in some better tools, but right now like 5 people watch this vlog, so I literally find absolutely no reason to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on tools when it's like literally like me and my mom and my friend Katie that watch these. So that's pretty much what I use for my tools. I think that they're fun, they're, you know, backpack friendly, they're easy to carry around, so they're great. Oh, and you can probably see in my glasses, like when I do that, it kind of reflects. I also use like a little ring light to light my videos. So on this side, I have a lamp that's kind of like daylight temperature, and then on the other side I have the ring light to light my face over here. So that's what I got in terms of tools for vlogging. What is your go-to Starbucks order? So I think this question came up because I just recently got like a ton of gift cards to Starbucks for my birthday and for Christmas, and so I've been going to Starbucks like every single day and posting on my Instagram story what my order is every single day. So my go-to order is usually 4 shots of espresso. Usually I get it in a venti cup. So 4 shots of espresso, fill the cup up with ice, 2 pumps of toffee nut syrup. Sometimes I just get 1 because I want it like the tiniest bit sweet, but not too sweet. And then a splash of heavy cream. That's my go-to order. That's what I like to get. I think it's delicious. It is relatively low carb for a Starbucks drink and doesn't have as much sugar as you would think. You can always substitute for sugar-free syrup, and that's usually better. I don't like the taste of the sugar-free syrup, and I feel like if I'm gonna go to Starbucks, I'm just gonna take the little splurge. Normally in a venti, they put about 4 to 6 pumps of whatever syrup flavor is in your, like, whatever syrup flavor is in your drink. I usually get 1 pump, which ends up being about 5 grams of carbs, which is typically all sugar. It's 5 grams of sugar. But sugar is considered a carbohydrate, so it gets lumped into that when it comes down to nutrition facts. So, you know, I choose the 1 or 2 pumps depending on the day, depending on how good I've been, depending on what I'm gonna eat for the rest of the day. But that is my go-to Starbucks drink. That's the drink that I love the most. What do you do for a living? I work in marketing for a nonprofit. That's what I do for a living. A few people have asked me if I'm a full-time blogger. I am not a full-time blogger. I am nowhere close to being a full-time blogger. Maybe that's the dream one day. You know, I say maybe, but it is the dream one day. I think that would be a fabulous experience to be an entrepreneur and to be doing something that I really love. But I love my job now. I love where I am in my career, and I think what I do is pretty meaningful. So I am good with where I am, but no, I'm not a full-time blogger. I work in marketing at a nonprofit. Can I be your friend? Is one of the ones that I got. The answer is yes, you can be my friend. I am a terrible friend though. I don't ever text back in a timely manner. I typically like to be by myself because I'm just incredibly introverted, and being around a lot of people really is exhausting for me. But I'm always happy to have more friends, and I think friends make the world go round, especially when you got good ones. I like this question a lot, and I get this question a lot. Do you eat for free when you go out? So Not always. The answer is not always. No, about 95% of the time, if I post a picture on my Instagram, it's typically because I went to the place, I spent my money, I bought my food, I went through the whole process. And that's okay. Like, being a food blogger is not all getting invited to restaurants and getting to eat there for free. That happens probably about 5% of the time. So typically, if you see a blog from me about a place, I'll disclose if they, you know, come to my meal and they gave me, you know, a meal in exchange for a review, or if they asked me to come just to give them some feedback. But typically, no. Like, most of the time, if I'm going somewhere, it's because I wanted to go there, I wanted to try it out, and, you know, that's just how it worked out. So no, I don't always eat for free at restaurants. Did you have braces when you were a kid? The answer is no, I never had braces. I was blessed with absolutely perfect chiclet looking teeth, so I never had to have braces. But I do have the curse of having my top and bottom wisdom teeth grow in more than once. So I've had my top wisdom teeth removed once, my bottom wisdom teeth removed once, then the top and bottom removed again, and now I'm actually growing another wisdom tooth in the top. So I didn't have braces, but I apparently just have a crap load of teeth. What's a kitchen tool that you can't live without? So my favorite, gosh, okay, my top three. When you ask me what my favorite something is, I can never give you one thing. Like, if someone held a gun to my head and they were like, pick your favorite kitchen tool, I would be like, well, I have at least 5. But I will give you the top 3, the 3 kitchen tools that I can't live without at this moment, because it'll change, I'm sure, based on my cooking needs. One is my KitchenAid stand mixer. I have had it for I've probably had it for almost 6 years. My absolute favorite kitchen tool. You can do anything with it, like anything, it's amazing. My second favorite kitchen tool is probably my butter keeper. It is this marble jar, and sometimes they're made of marble, sometimes they're made of porcelain. Mine's marble, and it has like a little, they also call it a butter bell. It's a butter keeper or butter bell. And what you do is you have the bell part that you take off on the top. You pack in a whole stick of butter, entire stick. You pack it in there. It needs to be softened so that it can like smooth out in there. And then the bottom is like a little cup, and you fill the bottom with water. Once you fill the bottom with water, you put the little bell on top. You have to change the water like maybe every 3 days or something like that, but it gives you fresh, spreadable butter at any time, and you don't have to wait for butter to soften. You don't have to keep it in the refrigerator, because if you put it back in the refrigerator, of course it's gonna get hard. It is soft butter that is easily spreadable and ready at any time, so that's my number 2. My number 3 is probably, God, that's hard. You know, number 3 is probably my Smeg kettle. It is just an electric kettle. It's beautiful and like vintagey looking, and I like to drink a lot of tea, so it heats up water super quickly, and you know, gives me hot water for tea, for soup, for pretty much anything that I need. So those are probably like the 3 things that I couldn't live without, but I couldn't choose one. Like, choosing one is like way too hard for me. What is your favorite song right now? My favorite song right now is Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I could like listen to that song a million times in a row and never get tired of it. It's such a beautiful song. I feel like Ed Sheeran is having his moment. It's just amazing. I love that song. It makes me like want to cry. His songs are just gorgeous and lovely. What's your next vacation is the next question. A lot of you know that my next vacation is to Chicago, Illinois. I am going with Brian, of course, because he's my love and we travel together. We chose to go to Chicago because we found a super cheap flight deal on Escape Houston. I always get really good cheap flights on Escape Houston, so we saw Chicago was on there. I was like, I never been to Chicago. He was like, I never been to Chicago. You know, like $160 later, we're getting round trip flights to Chicago, which is super cheap. So we're gonna go do a few fun things, including going and seeing our World Series Houston Astros play the Chicago White Sox. So that'll be fun. Are you and Brian going to have kids? That is a loaded question that I do not think that I could answer in this video. I think the best answer is that we want to, and that's where I'll leave that. What do you think your next big purchase will be? So this year, so there are 2 things that I want. But this year we told ourselves that we wanted to have, because last year we pretty much bought ourselves every single thing that we wanted before Christmas got here. And then at Christmas we were like, wow, what do we give each other? Because we pretty much just bought everything we wanted this year. So for the rest of this year in 2018, because 2017 we went crazy, I guess. We bought everything, every single thing we could have ever wanted, we bought. And then literally when it came down to like, what do you want? I was like, well, I don't know. I don't really want anything because I have everything. And I don't have everything, but I have everything I want. So it was like, okay, so this year we decided that we weren't going to spend money on big ticket items. And we consider big ticket items anything over $500. I, quite honestly, like the two things I want are over $500, and I feel like I probably can't wait until Christmas to get them. One of them is time sensitive, and the other, so I'm not going to mention the time sensitive one because I feel like I really shouldn't talk about that one as much. But the other one I can talk about is an iPad Pro, and I have wanted a stinking iPad Pro for like the longest time, for like 2 years, and I kind of like put it out of my mind because I got a really nice MacBook Pro, and I am so happy with it. It does everything that I need, but what I love about the iPad Pro is the handwritten capabilities, so that you can use the Apple Pencil with it, so you can draw, you can take handwritten notes. Like my whole life in terms of notes with work and with my personal life is all digital, with the exception of my little planner that I showed you guys in my New Year's resolutions video. And truly I want to keep things digital because it's, one, easier for me, two, I hate carrying around like 50 billion notebooks or remembering like when I used a certain notebook for a certain project and looking for notes. Like I hate that. I've been very spoiled with Evernote, and just having my notes at my fingertips and being able to search and recall like every single thing that I've needed as soon as I need it, and knowing that it's organized in Evernote. So like I would love to do that with my handwritten notes, and I would love to do that with like anything else that I'm compiling. So the iPad Pro is something that I want really, really badly. I feel like that is going to be probably my next purchase. The other thing that's more time sensitive, I think it will come, and I think that I'll probably get it. I mean, the process for it takes a while, but I think I'll probably get it like, you know, I'll probably start the process for that like sometime in the summer, which would be really good. That's my goal. That's my aim. Okay, and the very last question, because I feel like this video is getting long and my phone is also at 3% and about to die. So the very last question is, what's the best perk of being a blogger? And I think outside of getting paid to do cool stuff or getting the like experiences that I get to have and really like cherishing those, like getting behind the scenes looks into things that nobody else really gets to see or nobody else really gets to understand, like the other biggest part of blogging and the most rewarding part for me is that I actually get to share my life with people who care about me, and they get to see who I truly am, because I don't hold anything back on my blog or on my social media, and I tend to do that in person. I'm more reserved and I'm more, you know, I'm not mean, but like standoffish, and I'm more closed off. And I get to share this whole other world of things that I enjoy with people that I really love and admire. And it makes me so happy when somebody comes back to me and they're like, hey, I really learned something from you, or I really like the way that you talked about this certain situation. And that to me is just, it's rewarding because I feel like I'm not alone. And it is really easy sometimes, especially as an introverted person, to feel like nobody else gets it and to feel like you are existing in a place and in a box by yourself. But to know that there are people reading it and, you know, looking through it that I don't even know or that I've never met, and that I've like forged friendships with people all across the world because I just started writing about something that was going on in my life, like that feels really good. And I think aside from all of the other perks that you would think about when it comes to being a blogger, like that is probably the best one. One question that I didn't get asked though, and now that I answer that question, I feel like I should address, is that it is not glamorous, blogging. Like blogging is not a glamorous thing. I like literally just sat for like 10 minutes on my hands and knees trying to fix my broken tripod for my like ring light so that I could film this video. And sometimes, like, you know, my video is crooked. Like, it looks like my bed is leaning right now. It's not. I don't know why my bed looks crooked. Actually, I think my bed is a little crooked, but that's a whole other story. But like, trying to get things perfect because you feel like people are gonna overanalyze them, or you know, cooking something that ends up being really shitty and then you can't use it for a picture, or not knowing if you did something well enough for people to like it. Like, you know, the behind the scenes things that bloggers have to go through to get that perfect picture or that perfect photo, like, so much of it is not glamorous. So much of it takes a lot of your time, it takes a lot of your effort, it takes a lot of your energy, and it's hard. Like, it's fun, but it's hard. So, you know, something that I would tell people who want to blog, and a lot of times, like, I do get those messages that are like, hey, I love your blog, like, how do I start, how do I do it? And to me, it's like, just do it. Like, don't worry about the perfection, don't worry about everything being polished, don't worry about, like, you know, like, having a great camera, don't worry about those, like, superficial things. Like, just put it out there, just do it, just use what you've got and do what you can with what you have. Because most of the time, like, you're gonna agonize over stuff that nobody else is gonna care about, and even if that part of it is unglamorous, and even if you have, I mean, I could count for years on my hands, like, this hand, probably these 3 fingers, like, that's how many people watched my blogs. Like, that's how many people would comment, that's how many people would even say, like, hey, I saw that you read that. And like, I remember, like, the people who have started with me and who are still with me and still growing with me. And, you know, I think just remember that it's not always like peaches and cream, I guess. It's not always gonna work out, it's not always gonna be great, but the positive thing in all that is that you just did it. Like, just doing it is the first step to being great. And that's, I think, just the thing that I think everyone should remember when they start this process is, like, you know, Hangry Woman has only existed for, I guess, like 2 years at this point. I really started it at the end of 2016. Well, maybe like end of 2015, beginning of 2016. But it has not, you know, but even before that, even before, my blog was called something different, and I had a totally different aesthetic, and I didn't know how to take pictures, and I didn't know how to do anything that I know how to do now. Like, the process of just putting it out there is what got me comfortable and what got me saying, okay, like, I can actually do this. So that was not a question that I got, but it turned into one. And really, the end of that is just to say, like, it's not glamorous, it's hard work, it takes dedication, it takes time, but if you want to do it, just do it and don't quit, because it's doing a disservice to yourself to not use the creative energy and the creative force that you have within you just because you feel like it's not popular enough or it's not good enough. Like, it is good enough, and it doesn't matter if it's popular. All you need to do is put it out into the world, and somebody will find you and say, I identify with that, I know what you mean, I know how you feel, I know that I'm here with you. And that, to me, is probably the best feeling in the world when it comes to vlogging. And vlogging. I'm still not good at vlogging. This is like, I did Vlogmas and now I'm doing this, and I'm not good at it still. I feel weird, I feel awkward, but I'm just doing it because I feel like, I don't know, it's just fun, I guess. So yeah. Alright, well, that's the end of this thing. I'm so glad that you guys stuck around and you watched. It's probably like way longer than it even should be, or way longer than you even cared to watch. But if you're still here, I thank you so much. And I just want to let you know that if you like this video, you should go ahead and give it a thumbs up. There's a little bell down there in the little bar over there that will tell you when I have new videos. And so if you click that bell, you'll get to be the first person to get a notification, be a part of my notification squad, and see my videos first. So do that, give it a thumbs up, give it the little bell, make sure you subscribe. I'd love it if you shared it. That's a lot of calls to action. So I'm gonna end this video because I have now thrown too much at you. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. If you want me to do more Q&As, leave some questions in the comments down below and I would be happy to answer them in a future video. But other than that, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.